You may notice them. They don't flaunt their wealth or post it online for likes, but behind the scenes, they're quietly stacking millions while living like regular people. Today we're diving into the 10 habits of the quietly wealthy so you can build real lasting wealth without the noise or the flash. Habit 1. They live below their means, even though they don't have to. Most people think being wealthy means luxury cars, mansion, and designer clothes. But the real secret to long-lasting wealth is spending less than you earn, no matter how much you make. They live within their means, avoid lifestyle inflation, and prioritize building wealth for the future over flaunting it in the present. Did you guys know that 67% of millionaires has a home that's less than $500,000 and only 23% of them drive luxury cars? They understand that function is more important than the flash. And here's what usually happens to us. Too many people, they're so stuck in the earn more, spend more cycle. The more they earn, the more they spend. And this keeps them stuck, working to maintain an expensive lifestyle. The quietly wealthy avoid this trap. They keep their lifestyle in check no matter how much their income goes up, so they can keep building wealth for the long haul. All right, look at Warren Buffett, for example. This guy's worth well over $100 billion. He still lives in the same modest house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. So who am I to think that I need to live in a $10 million house and I'm not even making $1 million a year? What is this? So here's the misconception. People usually say, what's the point of being rich if you can't even spend it and enjoy it? But the truth is, the quietly wealthy don't avoid spending. They simply choose what they spend on, and they spend on things that contribute to long-term stability and freedom. We're talking about investments, generational wealth, rather than immediate luxury of today. So what I want you guys to take away from this is, if you live like you're rich before you actually are, you'll stay broke. Live below your means to create lasting wealth, like the quietly wealthy do. Let's move on to habit number 2. They invest consistently. No matter what the market does, the quietly wealthy don't try to time the market. They know building wealth requires consistent investing over time. They invest in stocks, real estate, and other assets. Whether the stock market is up, down, they understand that long-term investment comes from steady, disciplined, consistent investing. And I know this is very hard to do, right? Because it happened to me. I remember when I invested in stocks and I saw it plummeted and I'm just like, wait, what's going on? What's going on? What is everybody doing? I'm gonna sell right now. And I sold. Next week it went right back up. And I'm like, oh my God. So this happens, but you have to train yourself to remain stoic, calm, even though it's hard to do. But that's the right thing to do, and that's what the quietly wealthy does, guys. So let's give that a shot. So the takeaways that I think we should take from this habit is, we have to make sure that we're patient with our investments and we're not being impulsive. That's the takeaway. So let's move on to habit number 3. The quietly wealthy embrace boring careers, not flashy ones. It's easy to assume that all millionaires are athletes, actors, and tech moguls, right? But in reality, the majority of self-made millionaires have steady, often boring careers. You know that, right? And these jobs offer financial stability and the ability to save and invest consistently, laying the great foundation of building wealth over time. I remember I was listening to Dave Ramsey, and I remember he said he did a study with over 10,000 millionaires, and what they find is that the most common millionaires were people like teachers, engineers, and small business owners. They actually didn't say any rappers, athletes, none of that stuff. Teachers, engineer, and small business owner. What that says is, it's not really about how much you make, it's about how much you actually save and invest. And that's what teachers, engineers, and small business owners are doing to get to that millionaire status. So that's our takeaway, guys. Habit number 4, they are patient and consistent. The quietly wealthy understands that real wealth isn't built overnight. Even though I would love if I could build real wealth overnight, because I didn't grow up in real wealth and we all want to experience it so fast. But the truth is, that's not gonna happen. They don't chase quick, risky gains. Instead, they stay disciplined and stick to their long-term strategies and trust the process. Talk about trusting the process. Imagine you started investing in VTSAX and the market goes down, and the next day you take all that money out, locking in that loss. Sounds like somebody I know? That's me. But I'm learning, I'm getting better. I'm getting to understand that compound growth takes time, but it's one of the most powerful wealth building tools. So So we have to stay patient and stay steady. Patience is important because the average millionaire usually take between 10 to 15 years to build significant wealth. So that shows you that these guys are patient and consistent throughout the entire process. It's easy to give up when you don't see the immediate results. And many people start businesses and they start investing in stocks and they quit right away because they don't get that instant gratification. And think about Warren Buffett for a quick second. 99% of his wealth came after he was 50. That's asinine. And I know all of us are on social media, so the misconception is that if you don't get rich fast, you'll never be rich. And while it feels like we have to be in this race, running, competing with everybody else to get rich so we can flaunt the Lamborghini, so we can flaunt the Rolls Royce and all these great things, but that's not gonna happen. The real takeaway here is that wealth building is a long-term game. Plant the seeds now, stay patient, and let the wealth grow over time, guys. Now let's move on to habit number 5. They're extremely routine oriented. This is probably the biggest one. The quietly wealthy, they have their set routine and they follow it every single day religiously. They know success is not just about working hard, but about working smart. By creating consistent, effective routine, they minimize decision fatigue and maximize productivity, leaving more time for high value activities, right? Talk about productivity. So many of us struggle to even find the time of the day because we spend so much time wasting the time. And I remember for myself, it was so hard to get into a set routine, especially when you're, when you start a business and it's just you and you're trying to figure everything. It's very hard to get into a steady routine, but I realized that I didn't find success until I really found a schedule that I can stick to. And when I stuck to that schedule, then the success started to come. So what I did, I said, hey, listen, I'm gonna start every morning in the gym. If I can get to the gym in the morning, I'm gonna have a higher probability of having a successful day than not going to the gym in the morning. So I can frame my day around going to the gym. All right, after I master that one, what happens after the gym? I check in on this specific part of the work. After that part, and that's how I slowly started building out my routine. So here's the misconception, guys. A lot of people think being rich means you can do whatever you want, but that's not true. The wealthy usually create structures in their life to ensure that their time is spent on what matters most to them, whether it's investing, learning, or growing their businesses. So the takeaway here, guys, is create strong routines and the wealth will follow. The real success is in the daily habits, guys, and the routines. Habit number 6 of the quietly wealthy. They usually own some type of income producing asset. The quietly wealthy don't just rely on paycheck. They build multiple streams of income, stocks, real estate, business, royalties, so their money can work for them. They understand this concept to the T. Think about this. The average millionaire has at least 7 income streams: stocks, rental properties, business, royalties, private investment. These income streams allow them to earn more money even when they're not working. And this shows me that wealth isn't about working harder. It's about owning assets that generates income for you. So let's talk about habit 7. They keep their wealth a secret. The wealthy don't talk about their wealth. And a lot of studies have found that 92% of self-made millionaires never discuss their net worth publicly. They understand that true wealth doesn't need to be flaunted. It's about building security and freedom, not providing something to others. I'm sure you guys have heard about the story of Ronald Reed, a janitor who built an $8 million fortune but never showed it off at all. When he passed away, no one knew. Meanwhile, many people look rich often live in debt just to look that way. So a lot of people think that to show wealth, you have to show success. But the truth is, wealth moves in silence, guys. The wealthy know that growing wealth is more important than flaunting it. So they focus on growing their wealth and not on showing it off. So let's move on to habit number 8 of the quietly wealthy. They read to learn, not for entertainment. The wealthy are lifelong learners, guys. 85% of self-made millionaires read at least one book a month, primarily focused on business, investment, or personal growth. These people are obsessed with getting better, and they don't throw it out there all the time that I'm trying to improve, I'm trying to improve, I'm trying to get better, I'm trying to get better. They just focus on it internally. But what a lot of us think is, once I'm successful, there's nothing more I need to learn. And that's not true. The wealthiest individuals never stop learning. They know the knowledge you gain, the greater your potential to create more wealth. So let's move on to habit number 9. The quietly wealthy understand that who you know is just as important as what you know. And with that being said, they nurture relationships. They feed, they pour into relationships because they understand that these relationships opens up opportunity that money can't even buy. At some point, money is not even enough. It's really about who you know. For example, take Kevin Hart. This guy didn't build his fortune through just comedy. He built relationships with influencers, executives. He built relationships with producers. All of these things that factor into his overall net worth today. Why? Because they open up doors and opportunities for him to walk through leveraging those relationships. So the takeaway is your net worth is really your net worth. So build relationships and the wealth will follow, guys. Let's move on to habit number 10. They play the long game. The quietly wealthy don't chase instant gratification, guys. They understand that true wealth takes time to build, and they focus on strategies that pay off in the years to come. Not right now, they're looking down the line. Right? And a lot of us tend to have this feeling like, wealthy people are lucky and they build their wealth overnight. They just got a lucky break. But that's not true. The quietly wealthy build their wealth through consistent, smart decision made over a period of time. So patience is your greatest asset. And you always have to think about the long game. Guys, those are the 10 habits of the quietly wealthy. Why do I think this is important? Because I want to make sure I acquire a high level of wealth. So I want to make sure I absorb all of this information in my brain, and I think you guys should too. All right, guys, like, share, and subscribe if you got any value from this video. Bye-bye.